Hi, this is Janine Kuby, and I teach Earth and Environmental Science during fourth block. Okay, so when your child logs into Canvas onto my page, this is what they initially see. Okay, so they have announcements over here, grades. They can look at their grades. The grades in Canvas are not accurate to how the grades are in PowerSchool for my course because we do lessons. Have set it up for lessons, and I'll explain that a little bit later. Okay, so what they'll see is the name of the course, my name, and then here's a link to my email, which is the best way to contact me. Most of the students have figured this out by now. I will answer emails within the same day. And for the fully remote students, this is most important for them. My planning period is between 1:50 and 3:20. So if they ever want to reach me at the school, that's the best time to try to reach me. Okay, so once I log on, um, most of the important stuff for each day is contained right here. Okay, so here's a link to their missing work, anything they're missing. So each day they should be checking on there to see if anything's been added of their missing work. Okay, so all they have to do is they click on it and there's a list of all the students in the class and they just click on their individual name and it comes up with a Google Doc that will list any work that they're missing. Once they've completed an assignment, so I'm going to unclick these for a minute. Once they've completed the assignment, then they just click on it and it will cross it out and it lets me know that they completed that assignment. And so when I look at this page, I know to go back and look for that assignment in Canvas and grade it. Okay, and so this document is shared with the student and myself, and it can also be shared with the parent if the parent lets me know their email. And that way you can see also if they're missing work and what they need to work on to catch up. Okay. Um, so once they've done that, then they just can go back to the home page. All right, and here is where they would sign in for attendance. And on the attendance form, I have them acknowledge that they have checked their missing work. I have them acknowledge that they know how to find the daily assignments by clicking on this week's lessons. They put their name, their first name, last name, and then this is a good place if they have any questions. They don't need to send an email. They can put a question here, and I can answer them. Usually, I'll answer through an email directly to them if it's something that they're wanting me to respond to. Okay. All right, so when they want to do a daily lesson or where they go to find the daily lessons is they just click on this week's lessons. And I prefer this format rather than the modules because it lets a student see what's coming up for that week. Um, it lets them know, like for instance, if there's let's go back one. All right, so when we go back here, when they look at this week, so this was the week. So all right, let's start over. Okay, so this contains the lesson, the daily lesson. So this is this week's lessons. So all they need to do is find the date, and then they find their group, whether they're group A, group B, or group fully remote. Right, so the A day in class, we're generally doing activities, and the B day group will do those activities when they're in class. And so these are kind of flipped. So Group B would be working remotely on the lessons Monday and Tuesday, and then Group A will be working remotely on the exact same lessons on Thursday and Friday. So these two groups are just flipped. On Wednesday, all of the groups can meet for the Google Meet if they want to, but I definitely want the fully remote students to meet since it's the one time that I can definitely just meet with them and talk with them about any of their questions or concerns. Okay, so group fully remote would be here, and they do the same lessons, are responsible for the same remote lessons, but sometimes they might have a little bit more time to work on their posters or activities at home. Okay, so that was this week's lesson. Any of the prior weeks, when they're missing work, they can just scroll down and find the other lessons from before. Okay, so this is all on the same unit. The last if the work is from the last unit, then they just click down here and it'll take them to the last unit. Okay, so this would take them back to the first unit we did, which was scientific measurements. And so all of the lessons are here, and they can find the date and find the work that they were that they might have been missing. Okay, if by some chance they can't find that link, they can also find prior units on the home page at the bottom of the home page. Okay, so down here, this was our last unit, this is our current unit. And you just click on here and it takes you back to that same calendar page that has it laid out by the week. Okay, as I was saying, the reason why I like to do it this way rather than give them access to all the modules is because I like them to see what's coming up for the week, when we're going to have a quiz, when we're going to have a test. And it lets them know they should be looking at this more for the week, not only for the daily lesson, but for the week. All right, so when they click on a daily lesson, just click on this one, it'll take them to that day's lessons page. All right, and so for this day on latitude and longitude, there were 3 activities. If you notice, all of this adds up to 100 points. And so in PowerSchool, it'll just be listed as lesson on latitude and longitude. And it's made up of these 3 activities. One is a PowerPoint where they read the PowerPoint and type in I can statements. The second one was where they were doing I'll just click on these and show you what they are. Okay, so for the PowerPoint things, there is, they click on the PowerPoint and it comes up as a PDF. And this is the information being presented to them. And there's a video of it if they would rather watch it that way. Okay, so they read through the PowerPoint. And it's opened up in a different window so they can always go back here. But this is what they need to answer. These are the I can statements, the main points of what they should have gotten. And so as they read through the PowerPoint, they should be looking for these answers. Once they find those answers, then they are going to submit the assignment. So they just click on submit assignment, type in their answers, and then submit it. Okay. Okay. So this other one was they're just doing an activity here, but each time there's directions on what to do, instructions on what to do. But here it's set up as a quiz, but it's just an assignment. That's because Canvas either has assignments or quizzes. Not all of them are quizzes, but they have a map, and they were to find the latitude, match the latitude and the longitude with the islands that contain survivors. Right, and once they're finished, they would submit the quiz. Okay, and then the last one, there on each day's lesson, there's usually always a review quiz. They can either go back to that main lesson page, or click the next button, and it will take them to the next assignment. All right, and so this was a review quiz, and the review quiz are always 10 questions, 4 points each. After the review quiz, this would take them into the next day's lesson. So they can either do 1 lesson a day, or they can do as many lessons as they want and have Friday off or something like that if they prefer. It's up to them. They generally have access to the entire week's worth of lessons. All right, and so that is how, and they can always go back to the home page by clicking over here on the home page, which will take them back to any of these things that they need. Okay, so that is how my Canvas course is set up. If you have any questions, feel free to call, or email is, again, the best way to reach me. Feel free to email, and I'll be glad to email back, or I'll be glad to talk with you and help explain anything else that you have questions about. All right? Thank you.